And we're live! Woo! Welcome along, everybody. Welcome to Adorama TV. Welcome to the live stream on Adorama TV. For those that don't know me, let me start with a little introduction. Hello! My name's Gavin Hoey. I'm one of the presenters on Adorama TV, and today we're going to be doing some live photography shoots. Now, before I get going, really important, if you can see and hear me, please let me know in the comments. I've seen a few comments. I know there's at least a couple of people here, some familiar names, which is really good as well. Let us know where you're watching from, because that's really good fun to know as well, because we're here in our little small home studio. I say we because it's not just me. I know it looks like me. I've got a couple of people with me on the Super Switcher. We've got the awesome Sam on the Super Switcher.
Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? There's lots and lots and lots of people here from all over the place. It's great. So we've got Switzerland. That sounds quite exotic. We've got Bordeaux. That's in France. I know that. Wisconsin. Germany. Now I know that Ice Dino is Dennis, a friend of our daughter Freya's. So hi Dennis. And we've also got, there's somebody else here as well who's actually been here all day and isn't one of the family.
Oh, it's not me.
To find him. No.
So I've literally been here all day.
Our builder Steve. Our builder and very good friend Steve, who's doing lots of stuff on our new place here, which is fantastic. Anyway, Brazil. India. Sorry, I'm going to pass back to you in a minute.
That's fine. I mean, I'll just take a seat over here. Oh, right. Okay, we're back. Okay, lots. Basically, there's a few people here, which is really good. And normally, Sam would be assisted by the awesome Freya, who would be doing the Super Switcher, and Sam doing the comments. But there's been a bit of a change. If you signed up for the original one prop many photo session that we had planned, yeah, well, something called COVID got in the way, so we can't have a model in the studio right now. We're all absolutely fine, but we're doing the sensible thing, and I've got to work out which camera I'm on. That's good, yeah. Doing the sensible thing and being safe. So a slight change. We are doing a shoot with a reluctant model, and blimey, did I find the most reluctant model possible. No, it's not true. She did volunteer. It's the awesome Freya. Do you want to come on in? Come on in, Freya. Woo, give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Now, some of our viewers will remember Freya from our first video together 15 years ago, where you threw plastic balls at my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's out there somewhere. Out there somewhere is a very different video to this, so that's kind of fun. So it's good to have you back in front of the camera again. Have a seat. So I've got a few things I'm going to do. I'm going to try and explain what I would do with a reluctant model. And reluctant models come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, in as much as they can be family members. That's perhaps the hardest people to photograph, it really is. It can be, you're doing corporate headshots. That can be quite a challenge. It can be people, family group shots that don't really want to be together. It can be all sorts of everything. The hardest thing to photograph are just normal people. Models, if you ever work with a real model, honestly, you don't know how lucky you are. You have to experience both sides of the coin. So Freya is not a model. She isn't going to be doing any modeling. This is not a modeling session. This is about lighting and technique and survival strategies for these sorts of shoots. I don't take that the wrong way. But as a photographer, it's kind of a bit scary to do this stuff, because it's like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm going to have to work a bit harder. So here is my first tip. My first tip, and this is really, really useful, is be prepared. So if you're working with a reluctant model, they are not going to want to sit on the chair too long. You know, you may get a very limited window of opportunity to take photos. So prepare everything. So I've already prepared this. I've got a light that is in fact turned on, which is really good. I've got another light back here. I'll talk you all through these in a little bit, but I'm going to show you very, very quickly 5 different looks that I can achieve without moving any of the lights around. Okay, so a rapid number of different but the same photos. Okay, so let's just dive straight in. Before I do that, I need to actually turn my laptop on so you can see what I'm doing, because otherwise it all gets a little bit... and I'm just going to check in with Sam first of all. Are we okay? Is there anything I need to know about? Thumbs up from Sam, that's really good. Okay, Frey, so here we go. So you're just going to look down through the lens of the camera, and I'm just going to press my test button just to make sure all my flashes have woken up. Okay, which they have, really good. Here we go. Boom, okay, let me just make sure that my flashes are woken up, because yeah, it's live. I should say, because it's live, if you've got any questions, now is the time to ask them. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, let's just try that again. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. That's lovely. Okay, so jump over to my laptop. Shot number 1. There we go. I know, I got your best side. Do you want another one? We can go again. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. Lovely. Shot number 1, classic lighting, simple lighting, nice graduated grey background. Really, really simple. Okay, client likes that. I want to do something different. I'm going to pop a gel on the background light. What's your favourite colour, Freya?
Purple.
Yeah, I don't have a purple gel, but I do have. Let's make it a little bit brighter. Here we go. Oops. I love lives. There we go. I do have yep, there we are. Sort of pinky purple, isn't it? That's pretty good. Pinky purple, not bad. Okay, then you think, okay, well, I'm not sure I want to have a coloured background. I'd like to have a bit more of a patterned background. Got you covered. Here we go. Let's just take the same shot again with a bit of a pattern. So we're just going to pop that on there. I'm going to break all these down and go through them slowly in a minute.
I mean, what is that amazing thing you've just put
You'll
on?
have to wait.
Oh,
you'll have to wait and see.
Wait.
Okay, Freya, here we go. Awesome. Have a little look at the laptop. Boom, there we go. Pattern background. Yep, nailed that. That's pretty good. And then, what about if we change the background and we make it a white background? Here we go, Freya. Boom, whoop. Yeah, lovely. That's black. I'll tell you what, let's make it a black background. Here we go. And we'll make it a white background. I don't care which order I do these in. There we are. So, lots of different backgrounds, effectively. And that's what you'll notice I changed. I changed the background to black, to white, to a coloured, to a patterned, to a nice vignette. So 5 different looks really, really quickly. Now, that is really handy because I haven't had to change the key light, and yet we have a different feel to each of those shots. And that really makes a big difference to what you're offering to, let's say, a headshot client in this case. Okay, so it could be a corporate type environment where they want to change the backgrounds. Being able to quickly switch around is really, really handy. So, but that's a quick review. Do you want to just jump over to my laptop? I'll just do a very quick review of what we shot. Okay, so we have white background. We have black background, we have patterned background and coloured background, and somewhere in here there was a grey background. That was coloured. There we go. Nice little graduated grey background. So lots of different looks, but you'll notice the light on Freya didn't really change. That's important. Okay, so simple setup, lots of backgrounds. There's a question already from Sam.
So we've got a couple of questions. I think a couple of people may have missed the beginning. So yes, Freya is our daughter. So she's standing in tonight because we've had COVID, so we haven't been able to work with people from outside.
We're all fine now.
We're fine now. We're all fine now.
It's gone round the family, but everything's fine.
And there was another question as well, and I will find it in just a second. Sorry, I'm doing lots of things tonight.
You have more than your hands full. Yeah, we're a bit short-staffed.
So Mike's video, 1971. That was a very good year, Mike, by the way. What is the power of the 2 flashes?
Brilliant, Mike, let's do that because that's exactly where we're going to be going. Okay, so I whizzed through that on purpose to show you how even live, even with things that suddenly refuse to work during a live, because that's exactly what happens in the real world, you can get quite a number of shots in a short period of time. We'll break it down a bit slower and I'll do each one and explain the settings that I've got. Now, the first one is actually going to be the black background. So I'm going to turn the background light off. Okay, so that background light is turned off. It's not going to fire. So the first shot I'm actually going to take is this one. It's really important. Freya, if you can just look at the camera. Boom, there we go. And have a look at this shot. That's the most important shot. Okay, no flash, no picture. Have I got room lights under control? I've gone slightly brighter than I would normally, just so you can see not a completely black screen, because that's kind of weird. But that's what I'm after. No flash, no picture. That means I'm now in control of the lights. If you've seen us on Adorama TV, you've seen us do this 100 times, and you know why that's important. Okay, so I'll turn my transmitter back on. My key light is the Flashpoint Explore 300. Nice little versatile light, not too powerful, but powerful enough for a studio environment. It's positioned, well, it's not really 45 degrees, it's more like about 70 degrees. It's quite an acute angle. And the reason for that is I want the light to go in this direction and not in this direction, because I don't really want to light this background. No light back here means that this background will go basically dark, black, nearly black. So, power. This is on group A, it's on its own separate group. I'm shooting at f5.6, ISO 200. Frey, I'm going to reach in, sorry. Here we go. And which camera am I on? That one. Let's see if that will focus up on something. Yay, look at that. There we are.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, Sam's moving for me, bless her. Okay, so that just confirms that my settings, ISO 200, 250th of a second, and the flash is currently reading f5.6. So I know I've got the exposure on Freya absolutely right. Now I set this up before she was here. I put the chair there for a reason. It means that when Freya sits down, or your model sits down, they're sat in the right place. If this was a standing portrait, put a bit of tape on the floor. Same thing. Okay, Freya, we're going to do a quick little test shot. No flash, no picture. Here we go. Oh, I'll turn the background light off. I thought I had turned it off. Some strange things happening with my transmitter. Okay, there we go. It's not a completely black background. I don't have total control of the light in here, but remember, it's a mid-grey background. And if you want to know more about the backgrounds, there are links in the video description to the gear I'm using tonight. Okay, so that's really nice. I like that. That's pretty good. Then I can turn on the background light. So all power. Somebody asked me about power. The key light is on 1/32nd power, if that helps. I mean, the power is the correct power for this distance with this light modifier in this setting. It kind of changes from day to day. But as a rough and ready guide, I'm on 1/32nd power. Background light. That is a smaller flash. That is the Evolve 200 Pro. Ooh, Pro. Pretty good. And that one I'm going to put on 1/64th power. Make sure it fires. Here we go. Lovely. And that, we have a little look at that one. There we are. Nice. Okay, so that just gives us a little bit of light in the background. It's a little bit of vignetting in the background, and you can just see how that just lifts the background a little bit. And of course, I can control that. I could make it brighter. Let's go 1/16th power. Okay, Freya, here we go. Next one. It's coming. There it is. So that's just a little bit brighter than it was before. So I can control the background illumination. I could put grids on there and control the spread. There's all sorts of things you could do. But you can see how it's getting brighter as I increase the background power. So key light is still the same, still on 1/32nd power. The background light is now, here we go, at 1/4 power. And the background is getting brighter and brighter. And if I go full brightness, let's go 1:1. Let's actually burn the budget, all the flash. Here we go. Next one, ding, there it is. You can see that that background is basically white, but it's actually a bit too white. I'm not going to zoom in, and I'll tell you why I'm not going to zoom in a minute. But that's a little bit too white. I'm blowing out the hairs on the back of Freya's shoulder there. It's just a little bit too much. So here's the trick. If you want to know how white you can make your background, grab yourself a flash meter and the side, oh, that's, yeah, there we are. And you're going to meter the light. You can do it by trial and error, but I like a flash meter because A, it looks good, fills your model with a bit of confidence, and B, it's accurate. I'm actually going to put the meter on Freya's back of her head. Boom. Maybe not physically. Things you can do with your own family. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put it on half power, and at half power, I'm getting this. This is the reading from the back of Freya's head. Sorry, I forgot which camera I was on, Sam. The reading on the back of Freya's head is the same as the reading on the front of her head. So that's as bright as I go. If I had any more power coming off the back of her head would be brighter than the front of her head, and we'd lose contrast, lose detail. And I'd already done this. I've been through this before Freya got here, so I knew what power I could dial in. Preparation is key. Sorry, Freya, I'm going to take another photo. Here we go. There you go. Lovely. That's the one. So I know how white I can get this background. And you also notice I've shot really wide as well. I've shot this much wider than I would normally because Freya's not a professional model. I'm not expecting her to pose or do anything, but I want to be able to crop in later and fine-tune the shot that way. So I'm giving myself some breathing space from a post-processing point of view. Okay, so that's the white background and the black background. That was nice and easy. The coloured background is, well, it's dead simple, isn't it? You just put a coloured gel on. Let's put a blue one on just so we can see that there is a difference. Okay, so if I don't change my camera settings, I do nothing different. Here we go. Then what I'm going to get is this, which is, it's a nice sort of pastel-y blue. That looks kind of nice. I like that. That's nice. White in the center, blue at the edges. That's the same setting as the white background. Half power on the background light, still 1/32 on the foreground light. Again, those numbers are very, very fluid. Okay, let's bring it down to maybe 1/16 power, just see how this goes. And I can change the background to anything I like. Okay. Oh, I get the thumbs up from Sam. That's good. Yeah, go for it.
Dave asked, is the ISO deliberate for the type of camera?
Dave, that is a brilliant question. Dave, yes, it is. So my Olympus camera native ISO is ISO 200, which is why I'm working at ISO 200. I also used to work at ISO 200 before I had an Olympus because it means all of your flashes work at half the power they would at ISO 100. And unless you have a camera from a long time ago, ISO 100 and ISO 200 are basically, they're going to look the same. So do some tests for yourself to convince yourself that's the case. But ISO 200 on my camera, native ISO, and the best quality, ISO 200 for pretty much everybody is going to be the same. So, you know, but you do your tests, each is to their own. Okay, then last one was the patterned background. So if you were here for last month's Film Noir session, you might remember I spoke about this, which is my patented, well, it's not really patented, it's my design for a light modifier. It's called the light strainer. We now have a name for it, the light strainer, which is pretty good. Because it's basically, it's a cutlery strainer, but it's black, so therefore it's a photographic product. This is the Mark II version because I now have a bungee cord on the inside. Oh yes, a lot of research went into this product. And since last month, I said last month that we would have all of the people in contact, and let me tell you, since last month, Flashpoint, Profoto, Manfrotto, Magmod. 4 companies that haven't been in touch. Honestly, they're missing out. They really are. So this just attaches via the bungee cord. Obviously, Mark II version, it's a better attachment than the Mark I. It might still fall on the floor, which is kind of fun.
Another question as well.
Yes.
From Patty, who said, oh, I've lost it now. Well, actually, they did say, I wonder if the light strainer is now available. Soon.
I've got so many ideas for a light strainer. Okay, here we go. Let's do a light strainer shot. Okay, and yeah, the effect is going to be variable depending on A, where I point it, and B, the power I put through it. What was that power? That was whatever it was on before, 1/16 power. I think I settled on about 1/8 power. Here we go, Frey. Boom. I think that just gives a nice little effect. And you can see there's holes at the bottom, which kind of let the light through.
I did find the question, sorry. Do you ever calibrate your light meter with a grey card? This is SMV.
SMV?
158.
No. Okay, there we are. That's pretty good.
Well,
so I don't calibrate it with a grey card. When I first got it, I did do some test shots just to kind of convince myself. Because sometimes the technically right lighting isn't the right lighting. You have to kind of learn to read it as a guide rather than an accurate thing. So sometimes it is exactly what you want, and other times you go, well, that's correct, but I need to fine-tune it. So, but no, I've never calibrated it. I don't think even mine has a calibration option. It's just mentally make a note if it's wrong, I suppose. But, okay, cool. So there we go. So that's 5 different looks using the exact same light setup, which is brilliant. That worked really well. Any questions on that, or I'm going to move on because we are 20 minutes in, amazingly. Right, good. The trouble is you're about 30 seconds behind me, or am I in your future? Oh, that does my head in. It really does. Are we in the future? For them?
Yeah.
But this is actually from the past.
We can't be in the future for ourselves.
But they've already, it has happened, but I've no idea. Anyway, right, you get out. I'm going to sort this out. This is not how you should talk to your models, by the way. So,
Just your family.
just your family. Let's move this out the way. So we've done a very quick, effectively a corporate type environment shot. What if you want to do something a little bit different? So you've got somebody that wants more model-y type pictures, something a little bit more artistic, and they're not really a comfortable model. We work with a few of those over the years where they say, yeah, I really want to be a model. I really want some portfolio pictures. And like all models do when they start, they just sort of stand there and go, what do I do? Well, this is what I do. I set up a wider shot. So rather than it being a headshot where the small details really matter, this is going to be a wider, much wider shot. The other thing I do is fall back on what I know. This is not the time for suddenly, sorry.
I've got to keep you on your toes. You watch out, I'm going to be going to that top camera next.
Yeah. This is not the time to be starting something new. This is the time to be falling on your experience, because what's really important with a model that doesn't have confidence, maybe they're a little bit shy, they're definitely reluctant, is that they have confidence in you as a photographer, that you know what you're doing. Even if you don't know what you're doing, pretend that you do. Give that aura. Okay, that's kind of important. So let's swap things around. We won't need the softbox. We're going to keep this as a really simple. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's go with a simpler light altogether.
This is quite deep from Dave. Said, wouldn't a flash from the future only be a shadow in the past? Oh, I like that. That's very good. Very poetic.
Did you see that on Instagram, Dave? Sounds like an Instagram thing, doesn't it? Right, okay, so let's get me a little light.
We have a question from Simi. What is the white balance?
Oh, that is a very good question, Simi, and I probably should have done that, and that's the joy. If we were recording this as a video, I would just record this and edit it in, but I can't. This is live. So I do have right here my little color checker passport. Bing, there we go. So this thing really, really useful because it has a whole bunch of white balances along the top, which I can actually use to get anything from a cool to a warm white balance. And normally I would take a picture of that in the lighting, either with my subject holding it, or if it's corporate, then I would do it before the corporate team turn up, or at the end, whichever, doesn't really matter. So that would allow me to change my white balance in post-processing, but in answer to your question, I'm using the flash white balance. I could have just said that. Should have done that really, shouldn't I? Okay, let's pop that up there. Good question though. Oh, I've reached the maximum level of my light stand. So that's where the light's going to be. That's pretty good. So here's what's going to happen. You can just about see it. That's the right place for that light. Perfect, it's in the shot. I'm going to get Freya to stand against the only white wall that I've got that doesn't have hundreds of plug sockets on it. So she will be here, I will be where you are, so we're going to photograph in this direction. There is a light up there that's going to beam a bit of light down onto this wall. It's going to be dramatic, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be dynamic, and all Freya has to do is lean against the wall and look in the vague direction of the light. Okay, that's kind of the really simple idea behind this. It lends itself to a wider shot. So let's grab my camera. Let's bring it out. Now you'll notice I'm using a tripod. Now, I'm not a big user of tripods for portraits because I tend to find they limit my position of shooting. You get sort of lead feet syndrome where you don't really move yourself much. But if your model's a bit of a reluctant model, a shy model, not an experienced model, having a camera pressed to your face is a really disconcerting thing to do. It's just weird. So having a camera on a tripod where I can stand away from the camera and talk to the model, and it's just a much more relaxing experience from their side, even if it's not necessarily what I would like to do from my side. Okay, so let's grab this. Let's grab my little transmitter.
Simon said, I have to say that Freya is doing a great job standing in.
Okay. She's doing a great job. Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you. I'm just walking around going, where did I put my flash meter? Anyone seen it? Oh, there it is. Right. So I would normally get the model to stand here and then I would be reaching in with a flash meter. But again, if your model isn't experienced, if they're a little shy, if they're a little reluctant to do this, the best thing to do is to show them what you want them to do. Okay, Freya, you're out of shot, but you're watching. No, you can stay there, that's fine. So you are going to lean against the wall and you're going to look up towards the light. That's it, actually. That's no more complicated than that. I'm going to meter towards the light. I'm not going to look at the light. I always look at the light and then press the flash. I don't know why I do that. At least I remembered not to do that this time.
So I had a question about the cable from Angie. What is the cable from camera to the computer?
That is a Tethered tools cable. Keep talking. I'm going to change the batteries on my transmitter. I say keep talking. I should keep talking, shouldn't I?
You should keep talking, yeah.
That is a Tethered tools cable, USB 2 cable. I find that tends to be a little bit more reliable than USB 3 for my particular camera. And it's got a little repeater. So it's a very long cable and it has a repeater. There we go, batteries. It has a cable that basically boosts the signal over the length of the cable. Otherwise, after about 10 feet, 3 meters, you tend to run out of signal and it tends to drop off. So get yourself a good quality Tethered tools cable and get yourself one that is repeated. Hang on a second. What mode am I on? That's better. That's B. I suddenly remembered. Oh, and I looked at the flash. Ow! I mean, what does that say? Big red spot.
Silly.
I think that says F9. Yeah, it does. Oh, go on. It would be a model. Right, okay. There we go. I am back at F5.6. Okay, so flash meter tells me that this is the correct exposure. Frey, do you want to come and stand in? Smashing. You're going to go stand against the wall. Lovely. Okay, I'll frame this up. Okay, here we go. Lovely. Oh, I'm going to take a picture. Should have said that. Have a little look at this. Here we go. Right, so we've got a beam of light coming in. You can see what it does to the wall. It really shows off the texture of the wall, even though there isn't any. That raking light is quite dramatic. But as Frey is looking at the camera, which is the natural thing to do, it doesn't really work. Frey, can you just look up? Don't look at the light because apparently it's quite painful. Just look, just sort of around here somewhere, okay? Here we go. And what that does is it puts some light into her eyes that makes it just a little bit more interesting and a little bit more real, and it gives another bonus, which is she doesn't have to look at me and the camera, which sounds daft, but if you don't want to have your picture taken, the last thing you want to do is actually stare at a lens. It's just weird. So asking your subject not to look at the camera can be a really useful thing for your reluctant models. Okay, the trouble is that's not particularly good light. I mean, it's okay, but it's a little bit too uncontrolled. So we're going to get a bit more control. I've got this. Now, I suddenly feel really bad doing this because I watched Lindsay Adler's video this morning and she did a brilliant video yesterday on Adorama TV all about grids. And yeah, grids, these are such useful little things. This is the little honeycomb grid. It comes with the kit of gels I was using earlier. Again, links in the video description if you want to go find out about those. And Lindsay went on about the grid size. That doesn't have a number on it. It is a grid, you get the one. So I reckon it's about 30 to 50, somewhere in that zone. What it will do, and like all grids, it will take away some of the light. How much? Well, 2/3 of a stop, something like that. So let's meter this out. Okay, I am at currently 1/64 1/3 power. Freya, I'm going to pop this near your chin. I always point my flash at the light source. Oops, and I always press the buttons in the wrong order. That dropped to f2.5. Okay, I was wrong. It was more than a stop of light. Okay, let's try that. Let's try 1/8 power. Oh, 1/8 power, that's a bit too much. 1, 2, 2, 2. And f4.5. 5.6. Oh, I think I may have just pressed the wrong button. It's going up and down like a yo-yo. I may have not got this in the light. Actually, I should just come and have a look. Oh, yeah, okay. If your flash meter is telling you weird things, there's a reason for that. It's because something isn't right. I mean, this flash meter is very basic. It just tells me the exposure. And if it's waving up and down like it was, that means that I'm probably in the shadows rather than the actual light itself. Because if I put my flash meter, I don't know which camera's going to work best, that one, okay. If I put my flash meter on Freya's chin, I'm getting f14. But if I put it on her nose, I'm getting f9. That's not right. So I'm actually going to ditch the flash meter. I'm going to do this by eye. There's too much variation in that for my taste. Let's, whoop, sorry, just take a shot and see where we go. So let's bring that down a little bit. Okay, and we'll do it by eye. Let's have a little look. In experience, that's 1/16 power. That looks about right, doesn't it? But you can see how that made the effect a lot more dramatic. That was the wide shot with the uncontrolled light. And that's with the grid. You just need Freya to look up towards the light again for me. Here we go. Maybe a little bit hot, just a little bit bright. Let's bring it down to stop 1/32 power. Look towards the light again. Now you got the hang of this whole model-y thing, haven't you? Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's bring that down one more. That doesn't seem to be changing power for some reason. No, it isn't changing power. Let's see what's going on, which is interesting. Okay.
We do love a mystery, don't we?
We do love a mystery.
So Seth made a very good point. Don't forget to hit like. It really helps the channel out and really pushes up the algorithm. That's the buzzword, isn't it? There, yeah, I'm getting a nod. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
So it'd be great if you're enjoying this. Go and pop a like in, and then we'll see Gav getting really puzzled about things.
Well, if for some reason it wasn't changing power, because it's live. That's I mean, why? Anyway, so because time's moving on, we're going to move on anyway, and so that's okay. But it wasn't the light I was aiming for, because I'm actually going to end up using this. So this is. Anyone know what that is? Okay, what do you think that is? If you know what that is, stick it in the comments. I can tell you now, you're wrong. I mean, it makes the, what do we call it? The light strainer, I forgot the name of our product, look really expensive, doesn't it? Because it's just a piece of metal.
There we go, we've got lots of answers.
Yeah,
so
that was quick.
Yeah, actually, they're not as far ahead.
No.
Behind, sorry.
They're catching up.
So Patty said snoot, and Ivan said snoot, and Brad said snoot. Mary-Ange said snoot.
What? No.
Antoine said snoot, and Dave said snoot.
Right,
and,
okay, let me put you out of your misery.
And Denny said birthday cake.
What this is, you're looking at it from the wrong angle, so you have to look at it from this angle. What this is actually the James Bond opening theme. Doing the lang down. Oh, no, I can't do that. We'll get taken off the copyright issue. But that is, that's what that is. That's how they did James Bond. Oh, right, no, it's a snoot. I admit it. It's a conical snoot. Okay, conical snoot, little step-down snoot. Very, very useful. Very low cost. Again, link in the video description. So, yeah, grab yourself one of those. And mine is bent and battered and slightly out of shape, and it still works absolutely fine. Lovely. Okay, let's see if we can get some light out of it. It is a real light magnet. It sucks the light out of your shot. Whoops. But it drops in a very dramatic lighting effect. Okay, so that is very dramatic. Freya, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Yeah, that's fine. If you can just look towards the light for me. Boom. Okay, it's very dramatic. So that really condenses the light down, gives something a lot more dramatic. No rights and there's no wrongs with this, so if you prefer one thing over another, that's absolutely fine. It comes with a little kit of bits and pieces, including this little bit, which is a bit that goes on the end. There is a grid that goes inside, and a selection of quality gels. That was a little bit of sarcasm in there. I don't know if anyone got that, but they work. Yeah, absolutely fine. So that is a blue gel. Here we go. Let's try the blue gel. And of course, the gel acts like sunglasses. It takes away some of the light, so I would need to readjust the light to taste. And we're up to half power now. Wow, okay, here we go again. Yeah, you could hear that was louder. It makes a lovely sound, the conical snoot. There's a lovely sort of pop when it goes. Okay, so that's pretty good. That looks all right. I don't mind that at all. If you were watching earlier, if you just joined us, hello, welcome along to the Adorama live stream. This is quite good fun doing working with Freya, my amazing daughter, and Sam, my amazing wife on the Super Switcher. All good. And we are currently doing reluctant model photography. And we got to a point where we got a nice colour. Oh yeah, can you go back to my laptop? I remember what I was going to say now. So at the beginning, oh, the joys of live. At the beginning, I said, I'm not zooming in on a purpose. Freya, if you can just close your eyes for this one, that would be good. Because nobody really wants to see themselves really, really big on a screen. So zooming in is great, and we love doing that as photographers. We like to go and compare details of eyelashes. We all do it. I do it. I love it. But people outside of photography don't necessarily enjoy seeing their skin in very, very close-up fine detail. So bear that in mind. Similarly, I wouldn't normally tether with a person who isn't an experienced model or someone used to being in front of the camera, because it can be distracting from a point of view that they will keep looking at the screen. Oh, what's coming up? Oh, what's coming up? So that's really not good for the flow of the session, but also that they will see the bad photos that you want to hide. And we all get those. You'll get more on this sort of shoot than you do on a professional model shoot. So they all see the bad ones as well. So if you're going to show them photos, that's great. Just pick one and maybe show them the back of the camera and make it a good one. But play that by ear. I will always give it 10, 15 minutes and then see whether they want to see the photos or not. Right, okay, so I've got one more bit to do with this, I think, and that's make it a bit more colourful. So we're going to leave that light where it is.
Dee said, where is your smoke machine?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It's around here somewhere. Well, Dee, here's a quick tip for you. Go have a look at the video description. If it doesn't mention the smoke machine, it's not coming out. If it does mention the smoke machine, hang on in there. That would be my advice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to light the shadows of that shot. So we had blue light coming through and a fairly normal coloured shadows. So I'm going to make my shadows more of a red colour. So we're going to blend these together very carefully. Quick tip, before you put this right up at the ceiling height, turn it on. It makes a huge difference. And then that's going to be slightly out of shot, but quite high up. And I've got a white ceiling about 9 feet above my head here. So it's quite a low ceiling height. That should bounce off there quite nicely. I've tried to position it so it's not in the shot. And so we can actually see it, I'll just turn off the snoot and I'll just turn on just that red wash of colour effectively. Okay, let's just see what we get. It'll be, there it is. Okay, so that is the red wash of colour just from the light that's bouncing off the ceiling. And it's red. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn back on the snoot, and that hopefully, is that firing, Frey? Don't look at it, but I'll look at it. Hang on. No, that's not firing. Oh, don't tell them that says off, will you? No. It's really important that you don't tell them that. Oh. Hang on a minute. Here we go. I can put it in the corner. Can you guess why my light isn't firing? Oh, yeah, you'll get the idea.
It's okay, no one noticed.
I don't think anyone
It's
noticed.
fine. No, you got away with it. It's fine.
We'll take that out in the edit. Okay, we'll pick it up from there. I'm going to put a little beam of light. No one's going to notice. It'll be fine. I'm going to put a little bit of beam of light coming through. Here we go. It's going to be seamless. Oh yeah, that's going to be. You can hear the difference. Okay, so we have the little blue wash of light. We have the red wash of colour, and although I said this is going to be a wide shot, after a few pictures, Frey's relaxed, and I want to come in and do something a little bit more kind of like that. Can you just take a baby step that way? Whoop, that's plenty. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, and just look up to the side. Oh, no flash from the red this time. There we go. Ready? Boom. Yeah, that's nice. So that just moved Freya into the light just a tiny little bit more. So we have some nice mix of colour light on her face. Maybe we could take the snoot down a little bit. Let's take it down a stop. Here we go. Okay, that's kind of cool. That works well. And you can see the blue just appearing behind her. That's nice. I like that.
Angie asked, what trigger do you use for the 2 flashes?
Okay, I use my ultra reliable until Seth hits the go live button, and then all of a sudden it's not. Let's make it big. Let's go big. There you go. That one. Okay, so this is the flash point, and around the other side, that way the R2 Pro, which is, I'm not going to lie, been dropped many, many times. I picked this one up when I was in New York pre-pandemic. Since then, it's had a hard life. And it's the Olympus one, at this end. The little O stands for Olympus, because they have different feet. You have to get the one with the right feet for your camera. Okay, that's pretty good. What do you do with your hands? If you're an inexperienced model, hands are just the worst thing.
Juggling? You could juggle?
Yes. Have you got any juggling balls we could... No? Have you got pockets?
No pockets.
Pockets are really good. If you've got pockets, my advice for pockets is your thumbs, just your thumbs. Just pop your thumbs in your pockets, okay? Now you've done something with your hands. That's really good. You can cross your arms, which makes you look a little bit kind of... But it's something to do with them. You can watch our next live stream where we talk about the importance of props, because we couldn't do it this time around. Cross your arms for me, Frey. Look over towards the side. Great, lovely. And let's go a little wider. And let's make sure that flash fires. We'll get one. We'll get one where they all fire. Okay. Pretty good. Happy with that. So that at least gives us something to do. Or you can give them a prop. Where the heck is your prop? So props. Here we go. When it comes to choosing props for your shoot, try and choose something where it's something that means something to the subject. So it could be that they play an instrument, they do a sport, they're good at science, whatever it is. Try and find something that is relevant to them, or their job. It's me. There you go. So what have you got there? You've got headphones. And why do you have headphones? Why not? Yeah, that's as good as answer as any. Why not? Because Frey is rather good at gaming. I say she's good. She spends a lot of time doing it. She must be. So she does an awful lot of gaming. So we're going to make that part of the shoot. So you're going to turn face the light. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Lovely. And I'm going to move this light just a tiny little bit, just to see if we can get a little bit more light onto the headphones. Lovely, that's pretty good. Let's go for the second one of those. There, that's nice. So that worked really well. Look at that, that looks superb. I love that. Stop there. So that's nice. It gives us something to do with our hands. So we're going to take that idea for our last setup and sort of extend it a little bit. So I'm actually going to break all this down, and we're going to set up the last way of doing it. So we've done be prepared, we've done go wide, and don't look at the light. And finally, we're going to do be yourself. So if your model is a reluctant model, don't get them to model. Get them to do whatever they do normally. So Freya loves her gaming. So at no expense, I'm going to set up a state-of-the-art gaming setup for her. I mean, this is going to be amazing. Well, it would have been amazing in 2003. That's all I'm going to say. But it's going to be amazing. Let's set this up.
Just took the stand away. Someone did ask a little further back.
That's all right. It's coming
about
back.
Your C stand. So, what make is it?
It's Flashpoint. There's a surprise. Yeah, the little one isn't Flashpoint. If it's the little one, that is made by, and I can't remember the name, and I didn't put it in the video description for this one, but it's in my other videos descriptions. But it's a little 20-inch riser. Flashpoint don't do one. Flashpoint should do one. Right, where are we? But yeah, it's a good point. If you've got any questions, this is going to take me a minute or two to set up. If you've got any questions, now is a very good time to get them in whilst I'm walking around setting stuff up. So I've got a wonderful monitor. I mean, it's Okay, it's not wonderful, but it was available, so we're going to use that. I'm going to set up some power so it'll actually work. So I'm actually going to set up a proper game. I'm actually going to make this real so Freya can actually play a game and not think about the photography. That makes sense to me. Let's put a few things in place. Here we go. We're going to need a laptop to actually play. I mean, it could be a console, I suppose. It doesn't have to be a laptop, but it's on a laptop, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah, people are having a little guess. Lim 2001 Burger said Game Boy. And Simon said, is Gavin pulling out an Atari?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, if you... No one is going to guess. You don't know what this game is. I haven't told you. She asked for... What do you ask for? Frogger? Okay, it's not Frogger.
3D Frogger.
3D Frogger. It's not 3D Frogger. Can you go and get that green chair for me? And wheel that in. Awesome. Let's move these things out of the way. So, game from 2003-ish era. Here we go. Let's turn it down. Right.
Oh, is it Crazy Taxi?
No.
Oh.
It's Crazy Taxi 3. Crazy Taxi 3. You'll have 3 crazy minutes.
Amazing.
I don't think anyone remembers Crazy Taxi 3 but our family. So way back in the day, we had an original Xbox and we couldn't afford actual games for it, so we got a cover disc. Anyone remembers those?
They were demos, weren't they?
Demos, yeah. And one of the demos was Crazy Taxi 3. You have 3 crazy minutes.
Seth said, should put this on our new gaming channel.
Well, yeah. Do you want to wheel yourself backwards a little bit? Yeah, you'll need to figure out the controls.
That's okay.
So, I should explain, because this is not a gaming session. We'll do that on Twitch. This is the most useful thing I bought in a long, long time. Not the C-stand base, the turtle base. The little junior adapter pin thing. There is a technical name. I did put it in the description. Can't remember what it's called. Relatively cheap, but it just makes your little C-stand bases really, really small, which is really, really handy when you want to put things very low, like, oh, I don't know, a light.
So people do remember Crazy Taxi.
Really?
That's great. Yeah. Especially Seth in capitals. I love Crazy Taxi.
So do we.
Well, there we go. You see, you have a common interest. I mean, I'm not going to say, I probably should say, if this video, this live stream seems a little bit loose and ready, it's not because we had to change it 48 hours before we were going to go live. That's got nothing to do with it. It's probably because I've spent the last 36 hours playing Crazy Taxi 3. I mean, someone's got to research it. And I had to set up the controller. Does it work?
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Okay, so the start button will take you on.
I can just do one mode.
Yeah, it's a demo version. You get one mode.
The way you used to play.
It is exactly how you remember when you were 6.
There's a question.
Yeah, far away.
Manuel said, what model of DSLR are you using and when will you move to the new Olympus model?
That is a very, very good question. I knew someone would ask that. I'm using the Olympus OMD EM1 Mark III. That's a mouthful, but that's what it is. And I will be moving to the OM1 at some point. Where am I? At some point. I don't have one. They are hugely popular, so I'm a little bit short on one of those at the moment. Long story, painful story. Anyway, anyone seen my camera? Oh, there it is. I mean, it's at the end of the orange cable. You'd think that would make it easy to find. Right, okay, so we're set up. Let's drop this down a little bit. Okie dokie. So, I might have to turn the audio down for...
Yeah.
That's why you don't have a microphone. So whilst Ray's doing that, I'm just going to sort the lights out. You figure out the controls.
Yeah.
I've turned the music off. That's kind of good news for everybody, really. It did come with the most terrible music. That's it. Press the start button, which is the one just to the right. Yeah, there you go. Remember these things?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. That's attached. Oh, come on. I've got it stuck. My background is stuck. Hey. Okay. So I'm going to switch to a black background. We're going to put some smoke into the scene at some point before we finish in the next 10 minutes. So having a dark background makes seeing smoke a lot easier. Oh, that's better. And feel free to play the game. I will just, yeah, you can play away. I'll just turn the volume.
Crazy minute. Go ahead and pick a car and driver.
And I'll sort out the lighting whilst you're doing that. So, I'm going to turn the volume down first. I'm not sure I can turn the volume down. Try that. Yeah, I might imagine it's louder. Okay.
Okay, Rella, it's time to make some real dough. Here we go.
Okay, so whilst Ray's doing that, I should just sort out my light. Ray, we're off. Okay. So, I've put the light down below Frey because I want it to simulate the look of a computer screen beaming up at her. Okay, so normally you wouldn't put a light below somebody because it makes them look like Halloween, but in this case it's effectively motivated light. It's a real light source that we're trying to simulate with flash. So that's the direction of light, so that's where it has to come from. If I wanted to be really flattering, I guess I could put it above, but you know, I'm going for realism here. That kind of works quite well. Next, the front. I can't quite see much on the front of the computer monitor, so I'm going to add in a little light just to light the front edge of the monitor. Boing. Have you managed to get it going yet?
No, I worked out how to go forward.
Oh, okay. Forward is the front bumper. That one.
Oh.
See? Maybe old, but I know my stuff.
You better pick someone up or you're gonna run out of time.
A question about the softbox.
Yes.
So Courage Studios asked, what size is it?
Okay, the softbox is quite small. I'm going to put a little thing just to stop the audio on that one. Not saying it's annoying, but it's really annoying. Let me just pull out this bit, and we'll just plug that in there. Okay, try that now. See if that works. Wow, this is it's like a phantom. Okay, try that now. All right, maybe just pause it for a bit whilst I've set this out. So the softbox, I think, is about 50 centimeters, give or take. Is a rough and ready size. Not actually sure. It's a Flashpoint one. I've had it for years. Not sure they still make it, which is a shame because it's a really, really good softbox. Right, okay, so we're going to light the front. Let's bring this in. This is going to be a tiny little light. It's just going to light this part of the monitor. That's all it's going to light. It needs to be, here we go, a small light source. It doesn't need to be particularly powerful. A speed light is more than good enough for this. So that's what we're going to use. Little speed light. Let's bring it in. Only has to be just out of shot, something like that. That's on C group, so let's change C to its lowest power. I think with that one it's 128th. Whoa, okay. I will need to put my smoke machine on. Yeah, there we go. Just head back to my laptop so we can see that. Okay, that's with and without. See how that speed light just puts a little kiss of light just on the edge of the monitor. It doesn't need to be much more than that. We're going to do another test shot. There we go. And that just, yeah, that's better, isn't it? Okay, that looks good. Happy with that. I'll put the smoke machine on. We're nearly there. We are nearly there. The smoke machine takes about 4 to 5 minutes to warm up. If you're in a hurry, this is a great smoke machine because some of them we've had in the past have taken 15 minutes to get going. So we'll pop that on, that'll start to warm up. Okay, so I'm going to finish this little bit off by putting a couple of lights back here, just some edge lights, just to light the edge of Freya, make it a bit more colourful. And I could use speed lights. I'm going to use the Flashpoint Evolve 200s because I have a lot of these. They're really useful. I've already got a blue gel on this one. That's handy. That's going to go in there like that. And then the other one, where did I put the other? Oh, there it is. It's a tiny studio. My studio is 15 feet by 17 feet, and yet I can lose everything in here. Quite remarkable. Okay. Right, blue lights.
Christopher said, love Gavin's educational videos, but I get tired just watching him. He's going 100 miles a minute. It's true.
Oh, where would be the fun if we just sat here and just gave you a really simple...
Yeah, a couple of people have made the point that the catch light in Frey's eyes is round.
And the TV screen is
yes, yeah.
That's a fair point.
Quick, solve it now.
Okay, I just need to nip into the loft, find another softbox, and then come and install that. I'll be about quarter of an hour. Or we can just say, that's a fair point. Let's go with that one, shall we? Yeah, if you've got a rectangular one or a square one, that would obviously make sense. Or get yourself a round monitor. That would solve the problem, wouldn't it?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, get a round monitor, problem solved. Okay, wow, that's working because I've just looked at those lights. Okay, so 2 blue lights. I'm going to put them roughly in the middle of the power range, maybe 1/32 power. Quick test shot, here we go, Frey. Okay, see how this looks. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, aren't we? Yeah. Okay, so without the lights, it was okay, but with the little blue lights, we get a little bit of flare coming in, get a little bit of blue on her shoulders. We could add in a 3rd light, a 4th, 1, 2, 3, 5th light for the top of her head, but I think 5 lights on the live is probably a little bit overkill. That's pretty good. What it needs is a bit of smoke. We've got 5 minutes. I can do this. Okay, bit of smoke. So, which camera do you want to be on, Sam? There we go. That's lovely. We can fire that at the camera. Woo. There we go. So smoke, you'll notice you can't really see it against the white. You can really only see it against the black. That's how smoke works. It has to be against a dark background and really needs to be back illuminated for best effect. So I don't really want any smoke in front of Freya, which might have been a mistake doing what I just did. Never mind. I'd like it just to be behind her, because if it becomes in front of her, then we're going to see it. It's going to ruin the shot. I'm using the Chauvet DJ Hurricane 1200, and I love that smoke machine. It's fast to warm up. It's small, portable, and you can control the output quite precisely. Quick test shot. Here we go. Fantastic, and that is going to give me some real smoke coming in, which kind of makes sense. How bright should those background lights be? However bright you want, because the smoke will affect the results quite a bit. Okay, so, oh, that's off again. That's not me. The smoke will affect the results quite a bit. So if you're ever using smoke in the studio, be prepared to go with the flow. Right, go on then, play the game. Okay, so that's the accelerator. That's left and right. The A button makes you jump. Woo! Okay, so now Freya isn't modeling anymore. She is now playing a computer game. She is just having fun. You might want to look at my laptop, I guess. I don't really know. There we go. So I don't have to do anything anymore. Okay. We can put a bit of a tilt on here, make it a little bit more. You better, yeah. I don't know if anybody can actually hear the computer. I suspect they can. And it's the same as Frey was into sports or into music or anything else. If you get them doing what they like doing, they're no longer modelling. You've got 3 crazy minutes. How are you doing? Okay, but we could ask her to do a little bit of modelling, a little bit of work. So, Frey, do you want to be a little bit more reactive? I need a kind of like, whoa, excitement. And I just need to give my smoke machine a little bit of a waft as well. Oh. Woo. Bit of smoke. Okay. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Okay, give me some commentary. You're trying to drop somebody off?
Yeah. I've forgotten how to break. Oh, I dropped them off.
Okay.
I got bad.
You got bad?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I got a Class D license when I played it for 3 crazy minutes. Woo-hoo. Woo! Bit more smoke. Okay, we're getting to the end of the session. If you have any questions, now is your pretty much last chance to get them in. I'm just fine-tuning these things, and I've forgotten I'm live. Yeah, look at that. Let's adjust the back power. Yeah. How did you do?
I dropped off and no customers.
Good, you didn't get anything. Nothing at all.
No.
Big fat zero. All right, okay. Give me a kind of a surprise look. Whoa! Oh, the key light to decide that moment not to fire. Give me another surprise look. Whoa! There you go. Fantastic. Let's call it there. That is top of the hour. Brilliant. Okay, have we got any other questions? Are we done?
Just one's just come in from J. Joe B. What capture software are you using when shooting Tethered?
That's not a new persistent cough. That is the smoke in the room. That is Olympus capture software. So Olympus is own free software which tethers to my Windows PC. And then I'm using Olympus Workspace to display it, and I find that to be the fastest combination with my particular camera setup. So capture to capture, Olympus Workspace to display. Okay, cool. Well, there we go. That brings us to the top of the hour, just over. That was amazingly good fun, considering we had none of this planned just a day and a bit ago. So thank you very much to Sam on the Super Switcher, Super Joel.
Yeah, thanks for all your comments, everyone. I was doing double time today because I had no awesome Frey with me.
No, I had the awesome
thanks
Freya.
for all your comments and thanks for watching.
And Freya was absolutely awesome. Give it up to Freya in the comments. Whoa, fantastic, superb job. But yeah, thank you guys for being with us. We can't do Adorama live without you because otherwise it would just be a normal Adorama. Fun as those are, the live sessions are definitely more exhilarating from my point of view. So I love it. I really enjoyed doing these. Thank you very much. We are going to be back in 4 weeks. 4 weeks today. We're going to be doing what we should have done today. Thanks to COVID, it had to be postponed. So if you specifically wanted to see that, great, come and join us in 4 weeks. If not, well, you'll find out what it is pretty soon. So thank you very much for joining us. All it leaves me to do is to say, I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.